He told me to go and see the spine specialist, to which I said, why? So he could just tell me I'm fat again, like everyone else has done over the last 10 years and send me away? Lo and behold, they found this neurofibroma. Every doctor you see doesn't have to be your best friend. Every doctor you see doesn't have to be your enemy. But what you're really looking for is someone who's going to listen to you. The one thing you can't buy is good health. You can't buy good health. You can't buy happiness. These are choices that we make. It is easy in today's world with the internet to get online and start looking for different doctors. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Big Man, Big Problems podcast. My name is Julio. I am your host. Do you dread going to the doctor, or is it something you look forward to? Because I personally have a little bit of a love-hate relationship with the doctor. First thing you got to ask yourself is, what is it you want from it? Because I have personally fantastic doctors. And the doctor that I see just for my regular typical checkups and health. And this man is actually fantastic. You could tell somebody who'd really want to be a doctor because I can email, I can send messages, and they'll always get back to you. He is also fantastic with referrals. When I went down with my issue last year, my issue with the large neurofibroma laying on my spine, I had been complaining to him for some years of this leg pain. He told me to go and see the spine specialist, to which I said, why? So he could just tell me I'm fat again, like everyone else has done over the last 10 years and send me away? And he said, are you just going to be fat and in a wheelchair with a bad back? So I said, all right, I go. Lo and behold, they found this neurofibroma, and now they're working on it. Without that referral, without him caring, without him trying to shame me into a way of going, whatever tactic he used to get me there, he did, and he got me there. And that's all thanks to my doctor. And if he's listening to this, thank you very much, sir. Okay. But not every doctor is great. Some doctors are not there to help you in that way. Some doctors don't care as much or make you feel like you care or maybe guilt you. So what do? Get a different doctor. There's a lot of doctors out there. If you're on a health plan or not on a health plan, there's options for you. Go out there, start looking for them. If it doesn't work for you, get a new one and keep going until you find one that actually works for you. Every doctor you see doesn't have to be your best friend. Every doctor you see doesn't have to be your enemy. They just have to do the job. But what you're really looking for is someone who's going to listen to you, right? To me, the hallmark of a good doctor versus a bad doctor is somebody who stops, sits down, puts their clipboard down, turns their computer monitor aside, and says, hey, what's going on? Right? That's a person that cares. And feel free, by the way, to open up to them because that's something a lot of people don't do. They don't open up to their doctor. They don't say, listen, I'm feeling a little down, or listen, I'm feeling a little laggish, or hey, you know what? This happens to me when I wake up in the morning, right? Because they care. They want to help you. Maybe they can't do it. Maybe they'll refer you, but they're going to check up on you. And now it's up to you to do the stuff that he asked for. Because the one thing you can't buy is good health. You can't buy good health. You can't buy happiness. These are choices that we make. Okay. Not everybody you run into is going to make you. Not everybody you run into is going to care the same way you do. You have to be responsible for yourself as well. So, I'm a great watcher of television and movies, and there is a medical drama called The Pit, which I'm sure a lot of you have seen. And The Pit tends to somehow nail something for everybody. Like everybody felt personal to some case they did. Well, in season two, and by the way, this is a spoiler alert if you haven't watched season two, and if you haven't, go do it. Okay. Come on, you're watching a podcast. You can go watch season two of The Pit. They brought in a guy who was having an emergency that was near 600 pounds, right? And they really, really, really highlighted the difficulty of what it takes to do what they needed to do on somebody this size. And it wasn't just the health aspect of it. There was also the capacity of the instruments, of the tools, of the beds, of the things they had to do, and it somewhat diminished his ability to recover. But that being said and set aside, the way they played it on there is all the doctors were there to help. They disregarded his size. They just dealt with it like they would deal with any other problem, whether they had somebody who was deaf or blind or crippled or any other issue that they may have had. They just dealt with it. They didn't blame it, except for one person. One person they set aside, some medical student, to basically make some comments or ask some questions or make some dry remarks. And the doctors quickly dismissed him and said, none of that matters right now. What we have in front of us is a human being that we need to save, right? So, what are they trying to tell you in this? They're trying to tell you that most doctors care. So, what if you have one that you feel doesn't care? It is easy in today's world with the internet to get online and start looking for different doctors. Go see them, go stop in, go talk to them, see how they interact with you. Because if you have a doctor, you're going to have a doctor for a lot of years you're going to go back to, and you want him to know you as a person. Okay. Because all you really want them to do is the same thing you want everyone else in your life to do, is just to listen. Listen to what your issues are without judgment, right? When's the last time you're able to sit down with somebody and explain what all the issues you're having as a big person or whatever else? And they just sat there and listened without judgment. And then now you actually have somebody who's trained in the medical world and they say, you know what? Why don't we give this a try? Are you comfortable with this? Can we do this and see how it works for you? And then you sit there and say, wow, this guy actually cares. You know what? Let me give it a shot. I've had Kelly on my show before, and Kelly actually went into a doctor to look for getting bariatric surgery. And they looked at her and said, you know what? You might be a better candidate for a GLP medication like Ozempic or Wegovy or Zepbound or Manjaro. And she didn't know a lot about them, but she listened to them. And she didn't have surgery, and she lost 125 pounds. All credit to the doctor, because the doctor listened, the doctor cared, okay? But everything boils down to you. Everything boils down to the choices you're gonna make, okay? So there's one doctor that I'm leaving out that I think is really, really important, especially if you're somebody like me, and that's maybe a therapist. Because it's not always just physical, right? Sometimes it's issues that we're dealing with on the inside that somehow we can't express to other people, or maybe we're embarrassed to talk about to other doctors. Because think about how many times you talk to people about your issues. You always talked about it in a sense of, see, look at these things that happened to me. These things aren't my fault. I can't help it, right? The truth is, a lot of things have happened in your life that weren't your fault. A lot of things happened that you didn't cause, right? But now you're an adult. And now, as an adult, we need to take responsibility for the rest of our lives. Because forget about those people that did things, forget about those things that happened. Choose to move forward. And sometimes we can't do that by ourselves. Sometimes we need to talk to a third person who maybe we're not related to or don't have a previous relationship with or has no intention of judging you. That person could be a great help. And that's also typically somebody who's trained medically. Okay. Maybe they're not a doctor, but they went to school for this stuff. Right. So listen, I want to thank you for listening. I want to thank you for hearing my story. I would also like to hear yours. I would like to hear about your doctor. I would like to hear about your journey with a therapist. So please take a minute, subscribe, hit the like button, and leave comments, because I want to read your comments and I want to talk about them here. And I want other people to understand what you're going through, because you know what? Maybe they're going through it too. And let me talk about it. Let the bullies come attack me, right? Let the comments come my way, not your way. And together, we're going to figure out a way to be happy, and we're going to figure out a way to be healthy, hopefully with our doctor's help. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you next time.